Where's Kevin Dudley? Welcome to Uncle Bill and the Twins. He had to go
with Uncle Bill and the Twins.
He had to go. You know where he went? He had to go to the mirror. He had to go look in the mirror.
Check in the mirror.
Oh,
I gotta
man.
make sure for all the female fans out there. I gotta make sure.
I'm ready to talk some hoops. You guys are joking around over here. I'm ready to talk some hoops.
This is real. He got his Middlebury Cowboy, his Middlebury, so we know he's loaded for Barry.
We gotta get you in the shot. You're not in the shot right now.
Oh God.
So we can just call it the Dudley now. It could just be the Twins with voice.
With our guest, William Brown.
The shadow. All right. So anyway,
we're here selection Sunday. We just watched it, and it's pretty interesting. We're going to talk about some of the reactions we had, which I thought was pretty interesting. You know, Kentucky cannot defend their title. I mean,
Kentucky's not in. Yay!
Well, I mean, it kind of makes it. That's a sad story. That his best player gets hurt, Nerlens Noel, who's still going to go in the top 3 picks, and it brings back this debate of this guy went to college. He would have been a top pick in the NBA, and now who knows if his draft stock has plummeted?
Because
I mean, you know, with Kentucky, they didn't deserve to go to the tournament this year.
Yeah.
And I know it was unfortunate with their injury, but they got smoked in the SEC tournament.
So forget that. We spent too much time on those
Kentucky,
dogs.
but they can't defend their title, obviously.
Well, good. So, you have to go out and scrape up some more freshmen. So how excited are you about, what do you think about any surprises to you?
Well, I mean, first of all, I'm very, very excited. I can't wait. But to me, the biggest surprise for me was Miami not getting the #1 seed. Okay, they won the ACC conference tournament. They won the ACC regular season. Okay, this is the first time in the history of the tournament that the ACC conference champion, the ACC team that won the conference championship and the regular season, did not get a #1 seed. First time ever.
Justice.
I know that the one team you think it should have gone ahead of is Gonzaga, but Gonzaga, I think they passed the eye test. They were the #1 seed in the poll to end the season, and I don't think it would have been fair for them to drop to the 2 seed.
Well, absolutely. In a mediocre, you thought Miami should have gotten over Gonzaga?
They should have gotten over Gonzaga because the problem is Gonzaga. Who did they beat?
Oh, see,
they didn't play anyone.
They beat everybody they're supposed to beat.
Right?
Can they do that? They can't play Ohio State. They're not on the schedule. They beat everybody who's on the schedule.
Okay, but Miami beat better teams. Gonzaga didn't beat anyone who's a top 3 seed in the NCAA tournament.
But what was their record?
Didn't beat anyone.
What was their record?
They were 31-2.
So they beat 31 teams.
Yeah.
They beat 31 teams.
Yeah. But beating teams in their conference is not the same as beating Duke, beating North Carolina, like Miami
that's like who's better, Joe Louis or Jack Johnson? I mean, you don't know. You can only play who they put on your schedule.
Well, they can go out and schedule non-conference games against some of the power teams if they want to.
Then they would be 31-2.
But that's a good question, because a lot of these mid-major teams are playing kind of poofy schedules, hoping to get as close to undefeated as possible. And it happens in college football also. Right. And that to loft their record, all you got to do is beat one team, and then they get this record.
But you know what? Gonzaga, they are well deserving. So
okay.
they should be one seed.
So go ahead.
Let's look at the brackets. In the Midwest, we have
Kyle. He was telling like South Dakota State. I'm like, well, do you stay up like all night and just like watch this? You get any sleep?
He had the Liberty quote.
I love hoops. I love college hoops. So
he knows who was the 19th guy on Liberty? Do you know the 19th guy on Liberty?
I don't know his name, but he's a good player.
I'm sorry.
But let's look at the Midwest bracket. You have Louisville, the #1 overall seed in the tournament. But they kind of have a tough bracket. They have Duke as their 2 seed. They have Michigan State as their 3 seed. So they got 2 very historic programs there. That's a tough draw for them.
Yeah, it's a little confusing that the #1 overall college seed Louisville gets the #1 overall 2 seed, and then they have Michigan State, St. Louis, who I think is a very big sleeper team that can upset.
Right, beat VCU today. In the Atlantic 10 Conference tournament, a very solid team. Been in the top 25 most of the season. I do think Louisville is the best team in the Midwest. They have the great point guard, in Peyton Siva, well coached by Rick Pitino. I think that's a team that's...
Who should be in the Hall of Fame? Do you think he's ever going to get in the Hall of Fame?
Pitino?
Yeah.
I mean, probably. He keeps going to the Final Four, and he's won a national championship. I think this sets up nicely for Louisville. They have Colorado State or Missouri. I think they should beat either of those teams handily.
Yeah, I agree.
I think their first test will be, like, as you mentioned, St. Louis in the Sweet 16, but I think they roll past there. I like Louisville to get to the Final Four.
Okay, so my upset is St. Louis. I think St. Louis is going to beat them.
St. Louis, you think St. Louis will beat Louisville?
Absolutely.
That wouldn't surprise me.
That would not. I mean, nothing would surprise me in this.
Okay, what else we got?
We got in the South region, Kansas is the #1 seed there. They have Georgetown as a 2 seed in that bracket. You got Florida as a 3, Michigan as a 4.
I used to like Georgetown.
You know, you got VCU, Shaka Smart's group.
Yay!
Shaka.
I thought he plays for the Giants. Oh, that's who's that? The wide receiver who plays for the Giants?
Oh, Victor Cruz.
Victor Cruz. I said Cha-Cha.
But VCU is the 5 seed there. You know, to me, what stands out, this may shock you guys a little bit, so just wait for this. I like 14 seed Northwestern State to beat number 3 seeded Florida. You know, you guys might think I'm crazy, but Northwestern State, they are the highest scoring team in the nation.
That's because they don't. Wait a minute. You can't have it both ways. They don't play anybody either, Kyle. Right? Who they play? See, he has to have it both ways.
Yeah, he likes it when
I like teams that can score points. You know, Florida's obviously had a great season, but I think the SEC was weak this year.
Right.
I like Northwestern State to get up and down, score some points, pull off that upset.
Okay, all right.
But, you know, also you got UCLA with Shabazz Muhammad. You got Michigan with Trey Burke, Glenn Robinson Jr., Tim Hardaway Jr. Here is the 4 seed. That's a team that can maybe make some noise.
Yeah, one of the things I always see when I'm looking at the tournament, I'm trying to see what teams are going to win. Are you look at the teams with players who are NBA level players? Because that just gives you a little nudge above, and I think that makes UCLA and Michigan very interesting teams. But you
know what? I look at it. Which team has the most seniors playing together?
Right.
What's that? I mean, who's the best team? Because remember, that's when Larinaga's team, who Larinaga now in Miami. Remember, he had that team with James Madison.
George Mason, who went to the Final Four.
Madison, Mason, all those guys. but remember, and that was a team. They had a good team. They were.
Yeah, and I think on that note, let's look at the East bracket. You got Miami as the 2 seed there, who you just mentioned, who we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
You got the Indiana Hoosiers. That's a great bracket. Indiana as a 1 seed, but they probably have one of the toughest 2 seeds in Miami.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, you also have UNLV as the 5 seed here. Syracuse, who you just mentioned, with your buddy Jim Boeheim.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, I think Syracuse, because I think the bracket is very similar to the NFL playoffs, where the team that gets hot is a team that can win.
Right.
And Syracuse beating Pitt and beating Georgetown before losing a game in which they could have won against Louisville, that's one of the losses that might catapult them to make a run.
And you know what? I think you mentioned too that the Big East that will, kind of going to pieces had more teams. They had what, 8 teams?
Yeah, 8 teams this year, more than any other conference.
So
going to pieces.
Yeah, so it could be fitting. Oh God, I hate to say it. It could be fitting that a Big East team wins the national championship to kind of go out with a bang.
Right.
You know?
But I do have to disagree with Kevin on one point. I actually like Montana, 13 seed of Montana, to beat Syracuse in that 13-4 matchup. Montana, Montana's been to the NCAA tournament 3 of the last 4 years.
Who do they have?
So I'm saying that they've gotten their feet wet in the NCAA tournament. You know, last year they lost in the first round. But they have a team I think that can shoot Syracuse out of that 2-3 zone.
I like North Carolina A&T.
They have to play in the play-in game first. They got to get past Liberty.
Well, they're gonna crush Liberty, and then they're gonna beat. Who do they have to play?
They're gonna beat the #1 overall.
They're gonna upset Louisville. Well, all the brothers on the team should be playing at North Carolina A&T. That's another show. And then of course I like Southern.
Right.
Another HBCU. I like Southern.
Yeah, that's a good transition here into our West bracket. You got Gonzaga as the 1 seed there.
They're going to beat them earlier. Southern's going to beat them.
You like Southern to beat Gonzaga. Yeah. Be the first 16 seed to beat a 1 seed in the history of the tournament.
That's right.
75th NCAA tournament. You got Harvard.
Yeah.
Okay, those Harvard Crimson.
Hey, Tommy Amaker. I like Harvard to go all the way. Now, listen.
They have the 14 seed.
What about Southern?
Southern?
Well, he's got Southern and Harvard meeting in the Elite 8.
That'd be good. Then that'd be tough. That'd be a tough call.
Yeah, in my opinion, the Indiana Hoosiers are the best team in the country. You know, I think Victor Oladipo was actually robbed of winning Big Ten Player of the Year. You know, Trey Burke on Michigan won it. But I love Oladipo. I love Cody Zeller, scoring inside. You know, they have Jordy Hull shooting threes, Christian Watford. They got lots of seniors. I like Indiana to win the national championship.
I like.
He never
gets
his.
He might get the luck of the Harbaugh.
Luck of the Harbaugh. I like that.
Tom Crean. Your Final Four is who?
Is Louisville,
Syracuse,
Georgetown, and Wisconsin.
Are we going to have a contest for? Remember, we tried to give away some of our readers something for the Super Bowl. We're going to try to give something to our readers, our viewers to.
Send your Final Four and your champion. And if you win, then you get a dinner
with Uncle Ben the Twins. But to win the contest, you've got to pick the Final Four correctly.
Right.
And pick the national champion.
Right. Okay,
so
it
making it tough for you, but it can be done.
Right. So, but we need to have it by
Thursday morning.
This coming Thursday?
Yes.
Wow. Okay, we need to have it by
because the first games are on noon on Thursday.
Okay, so we need to have it by But listen, trust me, you'll have dinner with Uncle Bill the Twins in Harlem, USA, and I can't tell you how scintillating that's going to be. If you think this is great, you ought to see us at dinner.
Well, we did talk a lot.
Well, go ahead.
I just do want to give a shout out to the Middlebury Panthers. This past weekend, they reached the Elite Eight.
All right.
Of the Division III NCAA tournament. So I wish them good luck going forward.
Are they watching the show?
The alumni. I don't know about the current team.
We have some subscribers. How far did you go when you were in Middlebury?
We got to the second round. So this team has taken off. They've done a great job. They won by 1 point on Saturday against Ithaca, and I wish them luck to reach the Final Four and win the national championship.
And we'll see you guys next. Go ahead.
No, it's Uncle Bill and the Twins signing off.
We still haven't got that. All right.